What is going on, everyone? I just want to wish that everyone had a happy Thanksgiving, that everyone was safe, they enjoyed their family, they enjoyed their loved ones, and just had a really good day, a really nice Thanksgiving, some great turkey, and some great football. Speaking of football, let's dissect this one. 3 games to talk about, and there's nothing better than Thanksgiving and football. I'll tell you what, just the environment, how everyone's happy, you're with the people you love. It's just great. It's a great environment to be in. And to start us off, the Lions hosted the Chicago Bears. The storyline with the Bears is their starting quarterback, Mitch Trubisky, did not play. They said if it was a Sunday game, it would be a little bit more realistic. But because of the sore shoulder, let's throw in the journeyman Chase Daniel. And realistically, he's not even a journeyman with much experience. He doesn't get many starts. He didn't get much playing time throughout his journeyman career, but he went into Detroit and won a football game today, 23-16, and improved their record to 8-3. The Bears defense was definitely successful today. A huge pick 6 by Eddie Jackson late, and then an interception in the end zone to pretty much secure the W at the very, very end. If you're a Lions fan, this is one that stings. I mean, it's one that you realistically, going into the game, think that you should have a good chance of winning, especially being at home and going up against a quarterback who's really not elite, let's be real. But, you know, I don't think Matt Stafford had a great game. He had 2 interceptions. One guy I missed, LeGarrette Blount, as an Eagles fan. I mean, that dude pounds the rock, man. He just pounds it. He had 2 touchdowns, and you just can't stop that guy. I mean, they try and tackle him left and right, and we're talking about an elite defense like the Chicago Bears. If LeGarrette Blount lowers his shoulder and gets low, you are not bringing him down. But you know, you just look at the rushing yards for the Bears, too. They rushed for 38 yards in 15 attempts. You look at that numbers from the Lions' perspective, and you wouldn't imagine someone like Chase Daniel going out there and providing enough offense without the run game, but that's exactly what they did. You got to look at the Lions on top of that and say, okay, they're down a couple playmakers, right? I mean, that's definitely a factor. They're down a couple playmakers, but at the end of the day, this is a game that stings for Lions fans, and it's not because of the playoff run that they're now definitely not looking at, but just in general, the story of the starting quarterback for the Bears not being there, it's just to lose to Chase Daniel, and there's no knock on him, but I'm just saying, this one has to sting for Lions fans, especially at home, Thanksgiving. I thought it could have been a winnable game for them, but I don't believe Matt Stafford was prepared as he should have been. And that brings me to my next game, okay, the Washington Redskins and the Cowboys. And I know there are a lot of people out there who are going to say I'm just being biased because I'm an Eagles fan. I like to dissect the games, analyzing them neutral, because this is something I want to do in my life. I want to broadcast sports, and obviously I'm a Philadelphia sports fan, but I like to analyze the games just as a regular person and take my bias out of this. I know the Cowboys are playing better ball than they started the season with. That is just clear as day. But the storyline in this one, I thought the Redskins just played horrendous. I really did. I think defensively that was the worst game we have seen out of the Redskins. When you're talking about missed tackles, don't even get me started with the refereeing, because I thought that was pretty poor as well. But when it came to this Redskins defense, I mean, they were successful throughout the beginning, and I get Colt McCoy's now the quarterback, and they lose Alex Smith, but they pounded the rock, and they had a good run game, and their defense held them in it. And today, with missing tackles, like both of Amari Cooper touchdowns, in my perspective, was so bad defensively when it comes to the Redskins. I mean, the first one, the defender just absolutely slips, and there's a difference when the receiver makes you go on ice skates and fall, or if you just fall. And that was just him falling. The second one was 2 defenders, and one just missing a tackle completely. And I don't know where the second help was going with that angle. It was just atrocious. And that allowed Amari Cooper to run for 90 yards and a touchdown. Don't get me wrong. I think Amari Cooper is a good receiver, but those plays were just garbage, in my opinion, when it comes to the tackling and the angling of these corners and safeties for the Redskins. at the end of the day, the Cowboys win actually helps the Eagles, for any of the Eagles fans that still think that there's a chance to win the NFC East. So at the end of the day, the Eagles, better chance now that the Cowboys won, so it doesn't kill me. But going to what I said about the poor officiating in this one, I know this call was super late, and the Redskins were down 10 at this point with like a minute left anyway, so it doesn't matter. But the hit on Jordan Reed, that is so mind-blowing that the referees missed that call. For all the pass interference calls, for all the roughing the passer calls, and for all the helmet to helmet, to miss a call like that, where the defender is clearly targeting Jordan Reed's helmet with his helmet. I mean, what are they watching when the ball is targeting Jordan Reed? It just doesn't make sense. I don't get how they missed that. That they had some really iffy pass interference calls that they called on the Washington Redskins defense, but then when it comes to Colt McCoy's interception, when the corner for Dallas is pulling and tugging all over the receivers, they don't call anything like that. There was a face mask on Colt McCoy that wasn't called either. I thought the officiating was very horrendous as well. But listen, the Cowboys played better. At the end of the day, they played better. And Colt McCoy is not good. The Washington Redskins are on the downfall. This game, to me, showed the flaws of the Redskins and the downward spiral that they are going on, more than the upside that the Cowboys are playing. We'll see what the Cowboys really have in store when they have to go up against the Saints next week. And the last game, the Saints, and they win 10 straight. They handle the Falcons. I thought this was Matt Ryan's worst game I have seen in so long. We knew the red zone was horrendous for the Atlanta Falcons, but you're talking about a fumble by Matt Ryan, Julio Jones late in the first half with this fumble where he's airborne and he's flipping around, getting hit, ball comes loose. Calvin Ridley at the 1-yard line fumbles. This team fell apart. I thought the head coach's game plan was poor to begin with, and he was really bad at making adjustments. Even when you saw the way that they played Julio Jones with Eli Apple and the second safety coming over to help all the time, and the other matches they had with their receivers, I just don't think they utilized their best matchups. And when you look at the Saints, here are their touchdowns today. Tommy Lee Lewis, Austin Carr, Dan Arnold, and Keith Kirkwood. Yeah, those are the guys scoring touchdowns for the Saints. Drew Brees was just locked in, zoned in. 4 touchdowns. The Saints look so good, and they continue to roll. But, I mean, look at that. Look at the guys who scored. I didn't even name Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. Your top guys aren't even producing, and it's the other guys. Their whole team is clicking on all cylinders. And when it comes to Matt Ryan and the Falcons, I know they're banged up tremendously on the back end, but they don't look good. And Matt Ryan looked shook. He looked scared. He looked nervous. He did not look good. I'm telling you, one of the worst games I think I've ever seen Matt Ryan. Football was great, though. A great day. A phenomenal day with family. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I'm so thankful for you guys, the fans, because you are what keeps me inspired to do this, determined and very passionate for it. You guys are the reason that I care so much about making content. So I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below on these games. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.